We hope you enjoy this rebroadcast of Risk On's highest-rated topics for the previous week. Todd and Jason will return next week with their regularly scheduled programming. And now, Risk On.
Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's March 22nd. It's the 35th episode of what may be the greatest show ever about risk. I'm your host, Todd Ault, Executive Chairman of Ault Global on the New York American. This is Jason Bartholomew, Orange Man. Orange. Did we watch Syracuse or what?
Orange Man was not bad, except for on my dome. I got I'm a tomato today.
You were burned.
I got rocked.
Was that all just from being at the outdoors dinner?
Straight on, no sunblock. The Irish blood in me, I just got smoked.
Really?
Yeah.
Just sitting out there.
Yep.
We had dinner. No, we had lunch.
Yeah.
At the Ritz-Carlton in Laguna Niguel.
Talk about a view.
Was that a great view or what?
Dude, that place was
it was
amazing.
Fun. Biden has real issues with the border. This has turned into a fiasco.
You know,
I mean, he's like, and by the way, I'm hearing politicians blaming Trump. I mean, do they not remember his policies? Biden just basically said, "Hey, send everyone up."
Yep.
And now young
unoccupied children.
Right, it's very sad.
Or if they're occupied, you don't know if they're with coyotes, if they're with human traffickers.
Well, that, by the way, I didn't understand that. You know, I want to not to get. We're going to get to the market in a second,
right.
But I didn't understand why they were separating them, and that is because they don't know if the people with them are actually their parents.
Right, that's the troubling
which
part.
is a really troubling part. I didn't realize that. So the media reports, "Oh, look, Trump is terrible for separating these people."
Yeah.
But the danger is that some of them are coming over illegally with people that are illegal, that are actually not their parents, and kind of posing. It reminds me of that movie where she's coming through the border of like Singapore or something, and she passes a note saying, "This isn't really my father. I'm being kidnapped." Right? Yeah. I'm like, I didn't realize that was happening in real life. This is how stupid I am.
The previous administration before President Trump, he was a great gun salesman. Now this guy here is another great gun salesman, Joe Biden. So yeah, we like it because there's pressure on the.
Is Joe Biden on the gun makers payroll?
No, he's not.
You don't think so?
No, not at all.
Because the more he tells people he can't have them, it seems the more they want them.
Yeah, the takeaway clothes.
I remember my mom. Speaking of my mom is online right now. My mom told my sister, "You can't marry that man or date him." And my sister said, "Not only will I double the bet, I'll not only date him, I'll marry him and move away to Tennessee." So when you tell someone they can't do something, they don't like it.
Yeah, just like
love you, Mom. By the way, don't worry about it.
You can't drink alcohol. What happens? Speakeasies underground everywhere. Right. Oh, you can't have you can't have a certain type of weapon. Oh, okay, 3D printers. We've got prints for that. We can make our own weapons. Just all kinds of stuff. I mean, you're never going to be able to slow things down like that. There's always going to be a underground market for these things that they try to scrutinize and try to, limit. So here we are. Bitcoin, same thing.
Hey, you got to meet my brother, didn't you?
Yeah.
My brother came by. I forgot about that.
Shout out to
Mom,
Neil.
My brother came by the way. My brother Neil lives in Idaho, and he was in town for various family reasons.
Nice guy.
Including I have a father with Alzheimer's. Obviously, everyone knows why I founded Alzheimer's Neuro, the biotech company.
Yeah.
And so my brother Neil, who's the youngest of the four of us, and I'm the oldest, he's probably the calmest, smartest. I'm probably the most lunatic dude in the whole group. But him and I are tight. He stopped by. Went and saw my mom, saw my dad.
He's very calm, very smart. Yeah,
he is.
He's a good dude.
He's a conservative banker.
Yep.
And he told me occasionally he gets to watch the show because not a lot going on for him in the middle of the day. So Leon Black had talked about he had paid Jeffrey Epstein $158 million for tax planning and estate planning.
Okay.
Which is a hefty legal bill. But Leon's a rich guy, right?
That's a ton.
He founded Apollo. He was a banker at Drexel. This guy's a legend. Huge art collector since he was young.
Right.
Founded Apollo, been the CEO. Decided to be the chairman of Apollo in July. But abruptly over the weekend decided, you know what, Deborah, if you read his statement, his wife, I think she's ill or not doing great. Mm-hmm. He's 70. He has his own health issues. He said the Epstein thing was a massive distraction for him. And I kind of felt like Leon Black just decided to say, hey, enough is enough. I've been under attack. He owns 30% of Apollo or more. He's an incredibly rich guy. Can someone pull up Apollo and get me the market cap on Apollo? Can you do that real quick?
Yeah, let's take a
look.
look.
So he owns about 30% of Apollo Global. And today he said, not only am I not going to be chairman in July, but I'm leaving the board today.
That happened today?
He left.
Oh, wow.
So Leon Black is out, and kind of blows my mind because
is that
he's a legend, Apollo Global. And he's out of Apollo.
Yeah, that can't be right. 146 million.
No,
that's not it. Apollo Global. Here we go.
They got a big market cap.
Actually, Apollo Global MG is 321 million.
No.
What am I missing here?
You're missing something. Apollo Global is a gigantic firm, and they have he has a huge market cap. Apollo Global.
There's a bunch of Apollos here. Apollo Global Management. There it is, buddy. APO 21.95 billion.
Right.
Yeah.
So he owns 30 plus % of that.
Wow.
Which is what, around $6 billion.
Wow,
right?
That's a big position.
And I think he's richer than that.
Yeah.
So Mark Rowan, who ironically is someone we know. Mark Rowan who's been at Apollo a long time, taken over as CEO. I kind of feel like this is a big deal.
Oil was down just slightly, 61.27 a barrel. You know, when I was in California for the first time, I went up and just, went up to the Shell gas station just to check out the prices. I needed to get a little fuel, and I thought I had to take out a small business loan to fill up my tank. Dude, it's like $4.46 for 91.
I know you're used to places where there's the gas tax. In Nevada or in California, like I think the oil company gets like $1 and everything else is taxes. I'm not joking. I actually think it's like $1 for the oil company a gallon, and then like 12 cents for the people that own the gas station, and then all the taxes. If someone knows the actual ratio in California, it's something sick.
It's,
like
yeah.
out of $4,
Yeah.
I think the oil companies get like 20%.
And then the gas pumps, they won't let you fill your tank up.
No,
like
it's
what the hell is
ridiculous.
this attachment? I'm like stuffing it in the damn gas tank.
By the way, you should know on my car, if I go to Chevron, it stops like 10 times. I have to like hold it to get it to work. It doesn't work at Chevron.
Yeah. So anyway,
It's like some sort of filter to make sure the vapors aren't leaking somehow.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what the hell that is.
Well, whatever. Gavin got a little tax money from me. That's the last you'll get from me, buddy. But the thing is, everybody's...
I heard Hershey's going to start crypto mining too.
I mean, I thought Kodak
joke.
was too.
Going to make Reese's peanut butter cups and Bitcoin mining.
Reese's peanut butter Bitcoin.
What was that?
Yeah.
I think you said something there. Whatever, dude. Whatever makes you happy.
So, yeah, so that was the big runner for today. We didn't get a piece of it, unfortunately. What is there, GameStop earnings tomorrow?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Right. So to me, fireworks tomorrow, right? Because what is Chewy, Cohen say,
Cohen, yeah.
right? What does he say about GameStop?
Is he going to tweet like an ice cream cone again or something?
I know, but what does he say? He's on the board, right?
Yeah.
And he's head of their digital strategy or overseeing their digital strategy. Stock closes at 194.
I'm listening.
Unless there's some amazing stuff here, what's built in is this buy the rumor, sell the news. What happens with GameStop tomorrow?
Well, let me talk about this, though.
Is it pre-market or post-market for earnings tomorrow, too, by the way?
I'm going to get that information, but holy cow, I'm looking at the Naked Short report. You know, these hedgies, they're in this thing deep. 60, 64, 57, 59. Heavy shorting going on in GameStop. Took it back under 200. What's important tomorrow is the guidance, what their plan is. This is going to be very interesting tomorrow. Let me take a look and see what we have as far as the ER report and when it's going to be released, because this is going to be very important as well. All right, let's look at GME, GameStop, expected earnings after hours, Todd. So guess what? We get to cover that bad boy tomorrow.
So tomorrow is going to be fun.
We're going to have some fun.
Fun. I'm excited. Speaking of our favorite portfolio manager, $3,000 target. Do you know what stock that was?
Wait, who's our favorite portfolio?
It could be.
You're talking about Cathie?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So she puts a pretty big target on Tesla. Let's bring the stock up.
Yeah, bring that up.
So she puts a $3,000 target on it.
We're talking about Cathie Wood, by the way.
Yeah, but her whole hypothesis, and I want to stay on the screen here. Her whole hypothesis is that they're going to first introduce a cab company, like a transportation company with humans.
Right.
And they're eventually going to introduce a completely autonomous. I said autonomous. Oops. Autonomous.
Yes.
Robo taxi company doing billions of dollars, she claims, and that this is going to a $3.8 trillion market cap.
Wow.
That was her. I mean, this is what Cathie Wood said over the weekend. Her analysis, they published their research that this is going to be something like a $600 billion business in transportation. We got to get the numbers right. Now, by the way, we are not endorsing Tesla or Cathie Wood in this regard, but she did clearly say she put a target of $3,000 on the stock.
Let's think about this for a minute. Could it be like a three-pronged approach where Lyft and Uber sign JVs to provide their gig workers exclusive rights to purchase or lease the Tesla vehicle?
I don't know.
Just to start.
But you think about it, if it goes to $3,000,
yeah,
times that by 5, that's $15,000 because it did a split. So that is a enormous gain from where it was.
Did it do a 4 or a 5?
It did a 5, I believe, 5 for 1.
Okay.
So now you got a $670 stock. She's claiming it's going to $3,000 a share.
I mean, she's a sharp lady.
I know, but it seems like
It's
almost
insanity.
impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, really? But she's claiming that this is going to be a company that drives autonomous robots. These cars are effectively going to, you're not going to need to, I guess you're going to hail a Tesla.
But what's the timeline for this? Because
it doesn't seem like it's that long for her. Hey, I want to give you our commentary real quickly. Jason and I are not big fans of the market right now. We're trying to pick some individual stocks, but there's stuff out there that doesn't make sense. I talked to Will today. Will was giving me his commentary that something just doesn't feel normal.
yeah.
I'm concerned about the fact that we're going to spend about $10 trillion in a year and a half, year and some change. It's about a year since the COVID thing really went down. Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's March 23rd. This is the 35th or 36th episode. 36th episode. Even I can't keep it straight. This may be the greatest show about risk, but who knows? That's a forward-looking statement. We could be full of it. We hope it becomes the greatest show about risk. I saw the day today. It felt like a really weak day. Across the board, POWW, for all you home gamers, you know I'm long that stock. About at this point, about 700,000 shares because I sold 40,000 yesterday. Biden talks about the Colorado shooting in Boulder, hurts the gun stocks, hurts the ammunition stocks. POW pulls back a little bit today, POWW. Listen, what happened in Colorado is terrible, and I'm not going to comment on. I've heard today that it possibly was a terrorist act. I don't exactly know, but I tend not to get involved in geopolitical stuff like Jason does, because it's really hard to tell the exact story of what's taking place. But 10 people are dead, a police officer, and the story's terrible. And I'm not going to talk about gun stocks and bullets on a day when people died yesterday. Obviously, this is something we got to get a handle on. This has been going on a while. We've had shootings that have taken place for many years, and there's always a debate about how to deal with it. So you can see kind of Bitcoin, the way it traded off today. You have a 10% move down, or excuse me, 10.5% move down in RIOT blockchain, which is kind of a default. RIOT's obviously clearly become the default stock to trade as a proxy to Bitcoin. And earlier today it was 57. Let's see, look at the high of the day. 57, give or take 57.24. I bought Bitcoin for full disclosure. I bought RIOT blockchain for full disclosure right at the end of the day. And I'm going to give you the exact price I bought it. And I got a starter position. It was not a lot of stock. I bought really tiny. You guys are going to kind of laugh a little bit, but I bought, let's see here. I bought 1,000 shares at 50.71. Kind of right when it was closing. Wanted to be long a little bit, because my thesis is Bitcoin's going to consolidate up here, and then there's going to be an opportunity for you to be in Bitcoin for that move, which what I think happens towards the end of the year, early next year, is a move towards more at like 100,000. Now, I'm not recommending Bitcoin. Everybody says this to me all the time. Hey, these are things that I want to put money into, that I believe in. I happen to work for a company that does some Bitcoin mining. I've been a fan of Bitcoin for a long time. The volatility is something really hard to stomach. But I think at this point, it's becoming institutionalized, and people are going to own this. And so I want to look for opportunities to buy on pullbacks. And as a proxy to Bitcoin, I like to trade RIOT, because RIOT's really focused, like it's a laser-guided bomb into Bitcoin. It has all of its emphasis and focus on Bitcoin mining, getting the cheapest cost for Bitcoin in terms of its mining capabilities, and expanding to A19. I think is it A19 pluses? It's the sort of the top Bitmain miner out there. So RIOT's a proxy, but keep in mind, let's go back to the chart for a second. I'm going to show this. This is a chart of RIOT for the last 6 months, and so keep in mind, in November it was 329. Okay, it hit over 80. This is in the pre-market. Here you see a chart showing $70. It's up 1,700%, or $47 over the last 6 months. Huge volatility, and not for the faint at heart. I would not be stepping up to buy RIOT by any stretch. If there was a problem here, you could get yourself clipped. You got to be prepared to understand why you're taking that risk. I kind of, in light of the fact that some people died, obviously 10 people died, and the police officer, I didn't want to cover too much about POWW or give a lot of commentary, but I wondered if you had any take on it at all, on the comments from Biden today, or maybe it's too soon. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, they're using the tragedy as a political weapon, so I'm not too really keen on that.
Sure.
To be quite frank with you, the bodies are,
So I would argue with you that it's not right for them to politicize this right now.
Yes.
Sort of step back and see what happened and investigate. But okay. So let's go over GameStop. Do you want me to pull that up on the screen, or you're just going to tell people where we are? Is this a press release on GameStop?
Yeah, but keep the chart up. I like the chart.
Okay, let's go to the chart.
GameStop reports fourth quarter fiscal 2020 results, achieved 6.5% increase in comparable store sales during the fourth quarter. E-commerce sales increasing 175% for the fourth quarter. That's something that we are hoping they focus on with Mr. Cohen, and shifting into more of an e-commerce business. It looks like expense reduction initiatives drove $409 million, or 21% SG&A improvements in fiscal year 2020, strengthened the balance sheet, and ended fiscal 2020 with $635 million in cash. I did not know that. So they have $635 million in cash. And of course, they announced the appointment of the technology veteran Jenna Owens as the new chief operating officer. So that is great. I'm trying to actually find the earnings themselves. Let's see what we got here.
Okay, this stock is 197, headed towards 200. I wanted to double our position. We only had 500, which is, I said, only $100,000 worth, but it looks like this thing is ripping. Is it ripping on the fact that e-commerce sales looks better?
Guidance in e-commerce sales, a shift to that would be ideal for them, considering that there's still a chance for lockdowns. I hate to say that, but I don't know. It looks like France is
198.
Yeah, when I told you I would like to enter this position yesterday, I had a feeling this would happen.
I doubled up. We're at 500. You said let's go to 200 or 300. I went to 500. I mean, I know it's not a gargantuan dollar amount.
That's the partnership side that works well, though. I find and identify the targets, and then Todd fat fingers the buy button, because I'm a little more conservative than he is.
Are you implying I'm fat?
No, not at all. Just fat finger the buy button. That's a good thing. It's a compliment.
This is a very volatile stock in the aftermarket. It is 194. Jeez, I can't even keep up with it.
Hey, 193,
196.
Fourth quarter earnings per share, $1.34. What was the street looking for?
Is this overall positive here? Hold on a second here.
Yeah.
Roland's saying revenue 2.1 billion. Estimates were 2.24 billion.
That's not a bad miss.
GameStop now flying.
It's not a
Steve
bad
Smith,
miss.
what is this? ALPP. What do you think of?
Just as we spoke about HOFV not having any news. What's the stock doing?
Oh God.
What's the stock doing?
I feel like this is a roller coaster.
Do they have news?
Let's check it out. The stock, holy smokes. Oh my God, dude. On air, it was $4. Your God has nothing. It is $5.88 in the aftermarket, up $1.88. It is rock. It's up 46% in the aftermarket.
Did they hear me? What in the world?
Let me hear you roar, dude. What'd they say?
I said nothing changed. They have no news. And
it's
then I looked,
$6
and it just goes ham. Apparently, they have a contract. I'm just guessing. Let me see what we got.
Wow.
Partnership with DLPN. Okay, DLPN. What's DLPN, might you ask?
I don't know. Stock is near $6.
Wow.
GameStop 168.
GameStop is absolutely destroyed.
GameStop's 168. We went from being up big to getting our proverbial it kicked.
They signed with Dolphin Entertainment. Hall of Fame Resort signed with Dolphin Entertainment. It looks like that's a leading independent entertainment.
We were up
marketing
$4,000 and we're now down 16,000.
Holy cow.
Yep. There you go.
Hold.
That's risk on, and sometimes it's risk on stupidity too.
Looks like.
Did we know whether we should have sold it at 198?
No, but do we know that Hall of Fame was going to rip with news to 6?
601, by the way.
We took profit at 450, 420, 430 along the way.
No, we sold it at 420. That was the highest price,
okay.
Right. And then our buddy, I think, is it John? John was long, or is it Jeff? It's Jeff.
Jeff, he was freaking out
Jeff
today.
was long, and it's now it hit $6 in the aftermarket.
Did he sell, though, at 3?
I don't know. What are they doing?
They got a partnership. Dolphin launches non-fungible tokens creation and marketing division. Expects first partnership in collectibles. Here's exactly what we talked about.
We just said they're going to probably announce that they're going to have a.
We did not know
business.
this. I swear we don't. We would have owned the stock.
Oh my God, that
That's
happened
crazy.
live on the air. That'll be a nice little snippet. Like they're on the air, it happens. Boom.
That's crazy.
Just like that, Jason. These guys got no news. They got nothing going on. It was all hype.
Let's focus.
Blah, blah, blah. Announcement.
You know their 52-week high is $12.30.
And what do you mean? Now they're a token play? Is that what you're going to say to me?
That's just amazing. I don't want to buy the stock now, obviously.
Are they a token play?
Yeah, it looks like they are. They're getting
Wow.
ready to take advantage of this, the NFTs.
So they're a token play.
Wow. That's just amazing. I'm more concerned about GameStop right now, though.
Why are you worried about GameStop?
Because we actually have real physical money in GameStop.
But it would make sense that the Hall of Fame would take advantage of this, right?
Yeah, they were way ahead of the curve, though. Wow, they were ready.
They knew it was coming, kind of, right?
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
See?
What are you going to do about it?
Live on air. You go. We were up what?
You go.
Up 3K, down 20K?
We were up about 5K.
Up 5K?
4K.
Okay.
Hey, it is a little bit after 2 o'clock. Tough day today in the marketplace. Tough day for those people in Boulder, Colorado. Sorry to what happened to them. Our hearts go out to their families. What is it? People don't like that hearts and prayers stuff, or prayers and
thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers doesn't help, but it does suck.
Yeah,
right?
it's terrible.
So a little somber about that. But all in all, the day was okay. We kind of expected this, did we not?
Yeah, the market's crazy right now. Like there's 178. I mean, this thing's gonna go all the way. 180. I mean, it's all over the place.
Hey, GameStop, the conference call is going on right now, and we would not normally care, but I think this is a theme, and a lot of people could get smoked pretty hard in GameStop if there isn't a logical choice here. It's March 23rd. This is the 36th episode of Risk On.
And you know what?
What are you doing tomorrow?
Listen, tomorrow we're going to have some long ideas. I'm going to go and dig in the crates and look for some undervalued assets.
Right.
And we'll give you a couple more ideas tomorrow. The rest of the day, enjoy watching GameStop.
Hey, the volatility's out there. We appreciate your day. A strange day in the market for us. I think every name except for 2 shorts were down.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. It's the 36th episode of Risk On. It's March 23rd for Brett, Nick, Josh, Skyla, special guest Caesar in the house.
Yeah.
Take care. See you tomorrow. Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's the 37th episode.
37.
It's March 24th. It was a bloody day in the market. The Dow does not tell the story. GameStop down 62.98. And for the blunder of the year, the stupidity of the year from a management team. Ryan Cohen and that management team, the equivalent of blew it. GameStop, I'm sorry. These guys, I don't want to be harsh on anyone. I make lots of mistakes as the former CEO. I've made lots of mistakes with my companies. You don't go from $4 to $400 and then wait till the end of the quarter to say you might do an ATM for $100 million. You guys are completely, I'm going to make sure I say this all perfectly right, so it's all legal. You guys are the stupidest people on the planet. I've never seen anything so inept in my lifetime that you get a market cap of $25 billion and you wait to the end of the quarter to tell people after the market you're going to raise capital when you could have raised it the entire time in 2 seconds. Whoever your bankers are idiots. You guys are idiots. I'm sorry, but GameStop's management completely blew it. And now the stock's down $62 and going backwards. And this absolutely plays into the hands of people that think they should be short the stock. Completely. I mean, listen, do you agree with me or not?
Absolutely. They got $600+ million on hand. They didn't even talk about what they planned on raising. Here we go. For the last 2 months, AMC had an ATM in place. AMC raised plenty of capital. AMC was under $20 a share. We had GameStop touch $483, and they didn't raise a single penny.
On WallStreetBets, does anyone agree with us?
I haven't had a chance to look at it today. I'm sure there are some people that agree with us. I mean, how can they not agree with us? The volume that stock created on its way up to almost $500, why wouldn't they raise money? And why wouldn't
you have an ATM in place if you're that big that they could have done it when the market moved so they would have been able to capitalize? They have $600 million in the bank.
Yeah.
But so what?
Yeah, so what? It doesn't make any sense.
Whatever, man.
So here we are. The stock's under massive pressure now. You got all the retail investors that are going to be under massive pressure. They have shallow pockets. Hedgies step in. They have deep pockets. Pummel the stock. Right back into, I mean, this thing go back down under $50 in my opinion. Just going to get destroyed. And now they have to come out and say, oh, now we're going to do an offering. Now we're going to raise capital. Great. Now you're in a massive position of weakness.
Wall Street Bets people should be pissed off beyond belief that the management team waits to the quarter to tell people that they're going to raise capital. I mean, Captain Obvious, everybody on Wall Street Bets knew they were going to raise capital eventually. Why do you wait so long? I mean, this is the stupidest move I've ever seen. I mean, they all knew they were going to do it.
Yeah.
And by the way, what's the point of telling them that we might do an ATM? Just do the damn thing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't say we might do it. We might. Just say I'm doing it. Get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yes.
And I'd like to see if anyone agrees with me.
Yes.
Does anyone agree with me out there that the people at GameStop completely blew it? They blew their chance to act as if it's, and also too, their quarter sucked. I mean, to me, they sucked. There's new consoles coming out. They had new consoles, and they did poorly. It was like they did okay. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm pissed because. Why am I pissed? I don't know why I'm pissed. I shouldn't be pissed. I lost 60 grand. Okay, fine. Whatever. I made money on them before. I'll make money again. This is completely it's stupid.
So can you take a look at POW? It's up there. I just want to see it again. I want to see what's going on after hours, if anything.
Listen, obviously this is a painful situation for us because we're long the stock. So now, ironically, we're not down.
No, we're not down.
We still have a profit in the stock. We started buying it at $5.60. We bought some at $5.40.
Right. But
we gave back a hell of a lot relative to the size of the company, and I kind of believe that it happened because of the Biden administration. It's really it's painful.
You can point all arrows to that direction, in my opinion. And then obviously we had the unfortunate situation in Colorado, and of course they pounced on it right away with their push, with their administration and their agenda, and that put some pressure on all the firearm companies, firearm stocks and ammunition stocks. So here we are after hours, ammo, POWW 585. Volume was pretty light today. They walked it down quite a bit. There were no buyers really stepping in. I saw a couple of bidders at 575. They never got filled. I don't know why they just didn't buy the ask for, 580, 582. They were large bids also. So I guess they're still on the sidelines. They didn't get filled. So we'll see what happens. With POWW, there is supposed to be some news in the next week regarding the gunbroker.com acquisition. They do have a letter of intent for that. Nothing is 100% certain. Things can change.
So Elon says, by the way, if you read the Elon tweet,
right,
he not only says that you can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin,
right,
but he says that he's not going to convert it to fiat currency.
Correct.
So he's claiming. I mean, let's get this straight.
I got the. You want?
Let's get this straight about what Elon.
I have it.
There you go. What's Elon Musk saying? He's saying,
okay, he pinned the tweet. All right, the most important tweet is pinned from 13 hours ago. You can now buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, 641,000 favorites, okay? And then right after, let's see, pay by Bitcoin capabilities available outside of the U.S. later this year, 109,000 favorites. And then this is where he says Tesla is using only internal and open source software and operates Bitcoin nodes directly. Bitcoin paid to Tesla will be retained as Bitcoin. Let me repeat that. Bitcoin paid to Tesla will be retained as Bitcoin, not converted to fiat. I love when he uses fiat.
You gotta understand this, that Elon Musk is basically saying, we're going to do business in Bitcoin. We're not going to convert to dollars.
Yes.
Yen, won,
anything.
Ruble. What's the shekel? No shekels. I mean, he's not going to convert to shekels. By the way, I bought a business one time in Israel, and I paid $7 million US for it, and it was like 32 million shekels.
Ravi said never short Tesla, huh?
Robbie, I'm not shorting a Tesla.
Yeah,
don't worry about that. You don't
that.
have to worry about that. I wouldn't short Elon Musk if my life depended on it. And what people don't get about SpaceX is really StarLink. Now, let me go down a little bit of a rabbit hole with you, Robbie, on that. Now, you're talking about Tesla. I'm talking about SpaceX. SpaceX owns StarLink. And this is going to be an odd example, but just imagine you're in the middle of the ocean. The satellite communications, the cost and bandwidth is off the Richter scale. And in certain places in this country, you just can't get internet service. Starlink is going to allow you for basically nothing. And I'm going to say, I'll just be generous, say $200 a month, but I know it's 100, 150. They're going to allow you to have 150 up and down, 200 up and down, 300 up and down. And for you, if you're in the boating community and you're a luxury yacht, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for satellite communication. And Elon Musk, I mean, you can do it from the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world, you're going to have 150 up and down to communicate, trade, do whatever you do. And you don't have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. You pay $200.
So you mean to tell me we can buy GameStop at 190 on earnings day and watch it just melt?
Yeah, exactly. You can put your money, you can down a rabbit hole if you want to.
Dude, that's awesome.
Right. So I'm with Robbie on this one. Don't short Tesla. Don't short Elon Musk. You can't short SpaceX.
Right.
But it's going to go public. Ron Barron put a ton of money into it privately. And the guy, listen, you can't short Elon Musk. I'm sorry. You just can't do it. So listen, the market's down here. It's looking ugly. But when I reassess my positions, I'm comfortable with POWW. I'm comfortable with CLBS. I'm comfortable. Do you want to talk about AEZS at all or not? Do you have any kind of info on AEZS?
Oh, yeah. AEZS is...
All right, but do you have any info on it? Like where we can give people credible information?
It was in German. I had to kind of translate it today.
Really?
Yeah, I can talk about it a little bit.
All right.
It's the fake AstraZeneca. I don't even...
Can you bring it up on the screen?
Yeah, bring it up. Airterna, Zentaris.
So for full disclosure, we're long this stuff. Ooh, wow. It was down 8 cents today. Ouch.
It was up, though.
Yeah, it was up most of the day. Wow.
15-cent swing.
Brutal. Actually, I bought a little bit more at 18, at 120. That tells you timing. Wow. Gave it back.
It's crazy. Everything leaks now.
Nothing was down. Nothing was solid today. But
so
why don't you talk about this one? Because I'm very interested. This is the kind of stuff that I will tell you separates professionals from non-professionals. Jason's a professional, and when was it? Sometime like in the middle of the night, you said, hey, there's an article in Germany about AEZS. I'm like, but it's in German, he says. So let me translate it.
You just go to your browser and click translate, and it usually pops up okay.
So what's the story here?
Well, they're working with a university in Germany to develop an oral vaccine for COVID. The first I've heard of an oral vaccine for COVID. So they're starting clinical trials over there at the university in Germany. So you didn't really find much news on that. The only news that came out...
They're pretty smart, though.
Yeah, but the only news that... Yeah, they do. They did the... what is the stuff they do with the knee, with the...
the gel.
Stem cells. Kobe went over there, remember?
Right.
So... And Jordan, too, maybe?
Sure.
At least Kobe. But anyway, the only thing they released to the public clearly was the fact that they regained compliance for the NASDAQ over the dollar threshold for 30 trading days. Well, if they keep giving it back, they're going to drop below $1. Let's not hope that happens. But anyhow, there's a lot of upside on this.
But they passed it anyways, right?
Yeah. So they're fine. They regained compliance NASDAQ. I did notice a lot of activity this morning, but this information wasn't really released to the American public. You kind of had to dig for it. There was a couple of... The university has a Twitter, the university from Germany, and they post everything in German. So it just wasn't that clear for any traders, for anyone to pick up. But I did notice they were starting clinical studies for that oral vaccine for COVID. So that was just something that was very interesting to me. We're long on the stock. We're a little upside down on it right now, but we're just going to hold our position and see if anything develops from this.
Hearing, and I don't know for sure, but I think you were the one that told me this. Maybe I'm wrong. That Kamala Harris is going to be in charge of the immigrant problem, the migrant problem.
You want to go there?
Let's go there.
Okay. All right. Well,
So she is going to be in charge of the border crisis, and that there's a delegation going to Mexico or something right now to get them to do what?
But they still won't call it a crisis.
No, it's a full-on crisis.
Well, they won't call it a crisis. If you identify the problem first, that would be like the first thing you want to do, right?
Sure.
When you have thousands of kids coming that are either without parents or without anyone, they're just coming across the border by themselves. And then you also have them coming across the border with what could be deemed their parents, but a lot of times it's coyotes. And the problem with that is you separate them, and people will raise a big deal about that, but there's no way to prove that they're their actual parents. So with these children, you have to be very careful because they're exploited for human trafficking. They can be brought into a lifetime of slavery. I'm not kidding about this stuff. This stuff happens. It happens in this country. It happens all across the world. So you have to be really careful down there on the border. And with Biden's administration, he's been kind of wishy-washy. He said come here, and then he said don't come here. Well, he's got a lot of magnets in place to have them come here. They're incentivized to come here. They are allowed to get COVID relief funds, $4 billion. So, we're dealing with a big crisis on this border. And you know what's good, though? Is a lot of the media that generally gives them a pass, like CNN, MSNBC, they're holding their feet to the fire. I was impressed with that. I'm impressed with that, yeah. Guys like Faraz from CNN, Jake Tapper, Wolf Blitzer, even...
But Biden said he can't think of anyone more qualified than Kamala Harris to run the migrant crisis.
You want to talk about Kamala Harris? She was your attorney general in California.
I don't want to talk about
You don't want to talk about her?
For sure.
Okay, because historically, historically she's had some issues. Let's just say that.
Well, she did get 1% of the vote when she was running for president.
That is a fact, give or take a little bit, but yeah.
So why do you think why he picked her, Biden? A woman vice president, right?
Yeah.
She's qualified. She was a senator.
Yeah.
Tulsi. Why do you think he picked? Because I don't quite get why he wanted. He knew he was going to get California. That seems like a wasted pick. There was a lot of women he could pick from.
He could have picked. Am I allowed to say
what?
Pocahontas. He could have picked her.
Oh, that would have been a disaster. Please.
He could have picked
Elizabeth Warren.
If she's going to win, no. I would have liked to seen Tulsi Gabbard, but whatever.
Sure.
Tulsi Gabbard is a great American, and you know what? I'm not a Democrat, but I would vote for Tulsi Gabbard.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, got it. But we're not. We're definitely a little bit off track there.
Yeah, but anyway, let's see what happens. They formally announced a plan. They're actually going to go visit the border because they haven't done that yet. Biden said after making the announcement, you can think of nobody more qualified than Kamala Harris. And then it looks like he's shifting all the responsibility for the crisis over to the vice president.
Hey, listen, I heard today that the Nevada is going to open up 100%. I'm hearing April 1st.
So when the WSOP comes back to the Rio, or it goes to Bally's, or if it goes to Caesars Convention Center, wherever it ends up, we're going to have to figure something out.
Right. But don't you have poker withdrawal right now?
Yeah, I'd like to try to win lots of money. That's always fun.
But what are you hearing about opening back up Vegas 100%?
Well, they're going to turn that decision over to the city mayor and the council. I believe that's going to be either in the end of April or early May. So the mayor of Las Vegas is a Republican.
So it's kind of a risk-on move, right?
Yeah. So what's going to happen is Sisolak's going to give empower the local politicians to make the decision for the city.
Hey, those of you who don't know this, we are really ramping it up. We have a new studio coming. And that new studio is going to be done when, Skyla? When is it going to be done? She doesn't know. It's going to be done soon. We appreciate all your time for Josh, our producer, our assistant producer, Skyla, for Roland, her boyfriend, checking in on us, Brett, the director, the assistant director, Nick, my partner, Jason, the big producer in the sky, Willie, who's head of media.
Yeah, Willie. Shout out to Willie.
Shout out to Willie. Oh, I'm not supposed to do that. Okay, sorry, just kidding around. Hey, we love you guys. It's the 37th episode. What is it, the 24th? We'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully a much, much, much better day. Hey, it's Todd Ault. This is Jason Bartholomew. This is Risk On. It's the 25th of March, the 38th episode of what may be the greatest show ever about risk. And I got to tell you, that's a forward-looking statement, and I'm telling you it's not the greatest show yet. We lack organization, but we're working on it. I know Josh is disgusted with my behavior at times.
Yeah.
But we're working on it, right? Well, we started the day off with a severed finger.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to the severed finger part in a minute. It's important to understand that the finger we thought was severed just looked like it was severed.
We had a dangler.
Andrea's finger was severed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, this is my morning, okay? My morning was stocks down, and then a call from you. I'm on my way to the hospital. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Fingers down.
I looked around like everything's like, it just sucked. You know, it was like I was just pissed. It was like, not pissed at that, but just bummed, you know, all this drama was taking place. And my house is closing, and there was some drama there. And you know, the movers there's always movers drama, movers, etc.
Yep.
And then from there, after I got a call back from you that Andrea's finger was going to be okay, the market just rallied like crazy. And I want to tell you just a psychological thing. So remember, if you've been watching the show, this is 38 episodes deep. I always keep dry powder because if I like a position, I want to average in. It seems like always I have to average in. I almost never buy something. It immediately is a profit. I never have to average in.
There's almost like
that's the way it works for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people gamble one way. When they go to play poker, they have a certain style. When they play blackjack, when I trade stocks, I have a certain style, and I want to average in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not everyone's style. Some people want to only buy high and sell higher.
Yeah, that's true.
And I want to buy and then see if I can average in. Now, if it's rallying, continues to rally, I'll pyramid up.
Yeah.
Right? And we can get to some of those definitions. But I will tell you, I always pay attention to the feeling I have of the market. And when Jason called me and the finger was a problem, and I looked down at POW, I just started buying more stock. I went to every single name on E-Trade. I compared my cost with where it was, and if I was down more than 10 grand, I started buying. Now, I increased the positions by 20% across the board, and that rally helped me make money today. I want to cut away to a breaking news story that I think is relevant. You may not, but I'll explain to you the relevancy for this, the financial sector, if you guys follow the banks. And this is really just coming out now, okay? Literally less than a minute ago, but I know they were going to update.
Oh, here we go.
So here we go. Right, Fed says banks will have to wait until June 30th to start issuing buybacks and bigger dividends. This just hit like a minute ago.
Some of these politicians are really
they don't like this part, do they?
Oh, they're not happy.
Banks will be able to start giving back money to shareholders this year, but not until June 30th, and provided they passed a current round of stress tests, the Federal Reserve announced Thursday. This means bigger financial institutions will be able to start exercising buybacks and bigger dividends. So let me kind of walk you through what's going on here. Oh, yeah, thanks, Nick. We can come off screen. So during the pandemic, the bank's reserve means they took a charge against their balance sheet for potential write-offs, and those reserves didn't happen, meaning they reserved, and I'm going to give you a round number. Let's say they reserved $10 billion for bad loans, and the loans didn't turn out to be bad. They have to recapture those reserves. Means they have to put them back on their balance sheet and say, hey, we had loan loss reserves. They were too high. We didn't really lose that money. Those loans are performing, so we're going to bring that back on our balance sheet. The financial institutions are pretty strong right now. I think because of government help and because of what happened during COVID, they were protected, unlike what happened in 2008 when the banks were on the brink of insolvency. And so now you get people like Elizabeth Warren and Senator Elizabeth Warren. And I'm not going to comment on her. Let me comment on something else here. If you're a public company or a private company and you make money, the idea that someone suggests you shouldn't be able to buy back your shares of your own company that made the money, I don't even know where to start with this. It's like this is political football stuff where they're making something political and acting to they're basically saying to people, they're American citizens, you're dumb, I'm smarter than you, believe what I'm telling you. But if a person just focuses on the idea that this is the way I look at this. If you have a mortgage on your house and you agree to pay the bank over 30 years, you're 3 years in the loan, but you're doing really well. You and your wife are making a lot of extra money. You decide to pay the loan down just a little bit early, right?
Yeah.
And start making a double payment. Under some politician's idea, you shouldn't be able to buy back the loan that was made to you, because I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a pre-penalty payment on these simple interest mortgages. And then you can make that extra payment, like you're saying, and just put in the notes, apply directly to principal.
Right.
I mean, these guys are just basically...
Right. So the companies buying back their stock are saying, we have cash. We're going to reward our shareholders by supporting the stock and buying it back.
Right.
Buffett does it all the time. He
Yeah,
bought a record amount last year.
Yep.
And somehow the suggestion is that is evil. But what's the difference if you send a dividend to your shareholders?
Right.
You're sending out the cash you would have used to buy back the stock, but the same shareholder's getting a benefit. The only difference is instead of there being a reduced amount of shares, the shares stay the same, but the cash goes to the individuals. It makes no difference. Now, some people want the cash, so that to them it does. But Buffett points out that Apple has been buying back stock, and even though Buffett sold some Apple stock, they bought back so much, his position's actually increased in the company because the numerator and the denominator have changed, right?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me, yet so the Federal Reserve is obviously letting them ease into the idea that they're going to go through another stress test and we'll let you banks buy back your own stock and issue dividends to your shareholders that own the stock. There is no other answer other than some form of socialism.
Well, they were trying to, they were talking about doing a financial tax per transaction too. So your money that you're investing into the stock market has already been taxed based on where you work, how you were employed. You're already paying federal tax, in some instances state tax, FICA, Social Security. So then you take that net money that you have after you've given the government all of that money that they waste anyway, and you apply it to your investments in the stock market. Now you're going to pay short-term or long-term capital gains tax based on the assessment of the equities that you're trading. But in the interim, during those trades, they want to deploy like a little transaction tax on every single transaction because they think that'll lessen the volatility of some of these free apps like Robinhood and Webull and the commission-free trading. So now they want to tax that. I mean, I just don't understand it. We're $27 trillion in debt. I'm not going to go on a rant, but they don't even consistently utilize our tax money correctly, in my opinion. I mean, they're spraying our tax all over the world. I mean, the COVID relief bill didn't really apply the funds to actual COVID relief. I mean, they don't even read the bill half the time. So that's just my rant on that.
What about this WiMi?
WiMi.
Don't do it, Nick. Hold on,
Nick.
All right, let's cover this WiMi and why you like these ADRs.
Let's talk about this. So we've got WiMi. I was looking through some diligence. I was just trying to find some tickers to make some money because the market's been so depressing. And I said, oh, look at this. WiMi Hologram Cloud. They are a platform of holographic augmented reality AR applications. The company provides holographic AR advertising services and entertainment products. Holographic AR advertising software enables users to insert into video footages real or animated three-dimensional objects that integrate seamlessly within the scene of such footages. So what happened was they raised capital.
Higher prices, right?
Excuse me?
Higher prices.
Yeah, they raised capital private offering at a 15% discount. At the time of the offering, it was 11.2 million shares at $7.50, and that was a 15% discount. Now we were looking at, and I said, wow, this is interesting. This is around $6. So we started looking at WiMi, and we started building a position there.
Splat.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me, right?
An event recently, North Korea, Kim Jong-un launched a couple of ballistic missiles, a couple of feeler bets, Todd. Hey, Joe, how you doing over there? Let me launch a couple of missiles.
Where'd they send the missiles to?
Near the Sea of Japan. Yeah, it's not good.
So I moved to Nevada, so I'm a little further away
Yeah.
if he tries to strike the East Coast or the West Coast.
the West
But
Coast.
Unfortunately, Nellis Air Force Base is here, and so is Area 51.
Those are targets.
So we're pretty much wiped out.
Yeah, we're doomed.
If we're here, and this would be a target, Nevada, Las Vegas.
You know, there's some
He wouldn't be targeting like the casinos because he likes casinos and porn.
He loves that. I mean,
Yeah.
he would gamble all night with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, for
Rodman
sure.
loves to gamble. But maybe we should get into the bunker business. Start building some bunkers.
I actually know someone who builds bunkers, makes a great living at it.
Yeah.
Actually builds real bunkers. I'm not joking around. I mean, that's like a big deal. He's in Texas.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. God bless
It's crazy.
Texas too, by
Yeah,
the way.
for sure.
So yeah, he also, you know what else he said?
What?
He said firmly, he expects to run again in 2024.
He did not say that. I don't
Yeah.
believe you.
Yeah.
No.
He was asked that.
He said he's going to run again in 2024.
yes.
Let's get to the story on Andrea. This is a personal show. Andrea's a personal friend of mine and my wife's and the company's. She happens to be married to Jason. That's his fault. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking around. Why don't you explain what happened to Andrea? Because I got a call this morning, like 8 o'clock. Going to the hospital, finger cut off.
Basically. So, well, you know, I'm not going to say any names, but we happen to be dog watching right now.
Yeah.
So we're taking care of a dog. 100% more dogs in our household because we have one dog.
You're watching Trigger,
So we're watching, yeah.
our dog.
Okay.
Yeah, one of our dogs.
So she goes to take the dogs out. You know, if you haven't been to Vegas, it's not as bad as Chicago, but Vegas has some just stupid winds out of nowhere. They just it gets really windy here.
Hey, Mark, we love you too, buddy.
So taking the dogs out, and there's 2 doors. She opens the first door. The second door, she goes out, lets the dogs out, no problem. They do their business. She comes back in. She's got the two dogs in her hands. She opens the first door, and apparently, when she opened the second door, the vacuum effect closed the second door on her finger. Like it just shut it hard. Yeah, that's probably what she said.
Wow.
So
her finger was hurt.
yeah, so I don't know how she made it upstairs in the elevator. She comes in, and I look at it, and it's all mangled. It looks like 70% ground beef or ground chuck from like Kroger. You know, they're really nasty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I look at that. I put a cold cloth on it. I'm scrambling around. I'm still waking up.
The dogs can feel her.
The dogs
her stress.
can feel it.
Yeah.
I got OptiGoo in my eyes still. I haven't even woken up yet, you know. So you know that when you got the stuff, you clear it out.
Were
Didn't take a
the
shit.
dogs freaking out?
Dogs are freaking out. I grabbed the stuff. I'm like trying to find out where the heck do I go because we've only been living here for a few months. And so we had to do like a big roundabout. We ended up at Elite Medical. I want to say that right. I think it is. It's on Harmon near the Strip.
Right. You were been raving about it all morning.
Dude, 5 stars. I gave them a Yelp review. You can check it out. I listed all their names. They all get free lunch now, but they know they're professional.
Right.
They sewed that finger up, put a splint on it, ready to go, man.
That's far from me telling my wife she's going to surgery and her finger's cut off.
Yeah, it
But
was.
you were like, you were very calm.
Yeah.
But you had not a lot to say to me. You're like,
Yeah.
hospital, finger severed. I think.
Call you back.
Call you back later.
Yeah.
But she's okay and home pretty quickly.
She is doing fine.
Hey, listen, this is my theory on the marijuana stocks. We have a difference of opinion.
Okay.
Okay, you and I. There's a lot of different kinds of wines, right? And I'll tell you, the quickest way to make $1 million in the wine business is to start with $10 million. Okay? I don't think any of these marijuana stocks are going to make a penny. I think they're all going to zero. There's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 players that last. They're going to be institutional. Is Jason right? He might be, and maybe they're tradable. But for the most part, I think that there's only so much weed people are going to smoke, but I could be wrong, right? I think the marijuana business is like the wine business, and nobody makes money at except a few players. Everyone wants to be in the space. I want to own a winery, but when I go buy a winery, I assure you I'm going to buy one that knows how to sell. I know the one I want. I want Silver Oak. Mm-hmm. To be clear, I want to buy Silver Oak, right? I need a lot more money.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that doesn't mean Jason's not right, and these things are tradable. Hey, it's the 25th of March. This is the 38th episode. We're working on graphics and adding more things to this. Risk on Gaming is coming up. We're going to be talking about betting and betting for the community that follows us. We appreciate you super chatting with us. We're going to work on that merch and get it out to you for Josh, Brett, Nick, Skyla, my man Jason, and Andrea. We hope you're okay. We are worried about you. My wife was very worried about you this morning. You guys take care. We appreciate that it was a little better market today.
It was.
Everyone be well. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Todd Ault, and this is Jason Bartholomew. And why am I sighing? Because I have no place to live because my house is not closing today. And I moved out of my other house, so I'm homeless. For a little bit of time.
Yes.
Kind of look like a homeless man, too. Hey, it's March 26th, and it is chaos in CBS Viacom land. The stock is down $17 today. It was $100 like a week ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're long that stock, right?
I mean,
we just got long today.
You guys are joining, yeah.
Obliterated.
So when you look at, like, just say you're looking at your phone app, Webull, Robinhood, TD, whatever it is, the actual stock price is moving so quickly. Like, it looks like a biotech that got FDA approval. It looks like just a crazy penny stock, like one of those Chinese educational stocks we saw this morning.
Can you do me a favor? Can you remind Gary that I do a live show every day at 1 o'clock? Don't call me, please.
And we're going to get...
It's like amazing to me. It's amazing you tell people, like, hey, I'm buying a house.
Yeah, I know.
And they call you 65 times that day. Well, the problem with the cell phone is that people think because you have it on you, it needs to be instant gratification. You have to be available 24/7. You better answer that phone or you're rude. I mean, you know what's funny? One time, the producer, Josh.
Dude, you have 3 phones now.
I know. I've known Josh for a while. And he's going to know this story.
All right.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
So Josh is a ridiculously good-looking man, right? We all know that, right? I've said this many times. And he has a really pretty wife, and his kids are even prettier than them.
Yeah.
So he wants to show me his phone to show me a picture. So he takes the picture out like this, and like this of the phone, and I reach to grab the phone. He won't let me take the phone. Right? He won't let me take the phone. But how many times in your lifetime when you show someone the phone, do they try to take the phone? And he wouldn't let me take the phone. He's like, hey, I want you to look at the picture, but I don't want you to take my phone. And his point is that people assume they can take your phone. And ever since then, I realized, and I started paying attention to the etiquette. And he did this like 6 years ago. It was like I think his first child or something. You just don't get to take my phone from my hand because I want to show you something. It's a picture. Here's the picture. And so now, and I want to talk to everyone. They all think like I'm rude because they can call me. And what happens is they call me 6 times a day. No, not 6 times a day. 6 times in a row.
Right.
If you text me and say, hey, can you talk?
Yeah.
You're courteous.
Yeah.
I work with you every day.
Yeah, I know.
I work with you every day.
Every day.
And you might call me once a week.
If I call you, it's because it's really important.
Right. Skyla travels with me and doesn't call me as much as other people do. Anyways.
So anyway.
What a day. What a day. Let's get back on track.
Let's talk about we're talking about Viacom is a very fluid situation. It's going to be fluid for the next 45 minutes. It's
48.17. What do you see in the aftermarket right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at 48.
Those of you who are on the radio, Viacom is down for today, 50 for the week, for the last 5 days, $50.85. It's at $48. It hit $39 intraday. It is lost today alone on, if you looked at the chart, if you were on the radio looking from left to right, this morning it was 65. It printed below 39, below 40. It's currently 48.23. and it's been whipped.
It's crazy.
This was they were doing a $3 billion offering to expand their Paramount network because they have an over-the-top, like a Netflix-like channel, because they do own Paramount. And so Jason calls me in a panic.
I missed the bottom. It was $39.80.
We have to buy.
Yeah.
So POWW in the aftermarket's down 19 cents. You think they were waiting for the gunbroker.com deal?
I thought they were going to release it.
Today it was 610. It's getting volatile now.
Yeah.
It was over 610. It was the high of the day.
Let's look at the calendar.
High of the day on
612,
POWW was 612
Yeah.
today. And lowest was 577.
That's pretty good volatility.
Yeah, it's starting to get volatile.
So,
for you home gamers over there, POWW POW is a ammunition stock that Jason and I own more than we wish to disclose. Just kidding.
we got a lot of ammo in that.
We got a lot of ammo. We are long that stock in a biblical way, right, Jason?
Yeah, Jeff says no, I sold Hall of Fame at 5. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So the 31st
I stupidly have a lot of
Sunday
Hall of Fame left.
So Wednesday is the wrecking day. According to the LOI, it's all public information. Wednesday is the LOI expiration for gunbroker.com. I'm sure Roland is checking that out just to make sure I'm right on that.
So everyone and their mother's waiting for that day. Wednesday is the day.
Yeah.
So I may be able to move into my new house on that day.
What's going to happen first? Gunbroker.com or Todd being not homeless anymore?
I don't know. I'd love for you to comment if you think that Skyla, the assistant producer, and my assistant, and Josh should be on camera with us. Now, here's why I vote yes, and I'd like you to put this in the chat, please. Here's why I vote yes. Because I think people want to see them. When I'm talking to Skyla, people want to be able to see them. And I think it would be smart, too, that there'd be a camera over the director and the assistant director. Not that you guys would have to be on camera the whole time, but there could be a flash to you guys with your headsets on and stuff like that. So people to understand that we're investing in a real operation here. It's not some fly-by-night Vegas sideshow.
Look at that
this
thing.
is so cool. Can I expand the screen?
Oh, they can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it. Do me a favor.
How do I do that?
Reduce it a little bit. Reduce it a little bit.
Hey, it does 2 fingers here.
Look on your screen over here. Mr. Producer has
I see it. I see it.
So the folks can see it. Perfect.
Those of you who are on the radio.
That's a great photo.
This is the entrance to the Suez Canal. All the boats are waiting out there. The ships are waiting out there on the right. So I want to describe this to people on the radio. Big pool of water, sand around it, shoreline, and a little canal, and little dots of boats, right? Yachts or ships. There must be 50 of them, 30 of them, whatever, waiting to go into the canal. And up on the right-hand side, look at that. Isn't that cool? Can you describe that?
You can't even get through there.
You can't. The ship is turned sideways. It looks like it's not real.
It looks like they did it on purpose. That's just a horrible.
No, but the wind was blowing hard.
Yeah, I know.
Trust me, for someone who has boated a lot in my lifetime,
yeah,
I've went through little canals like this and lost on a sailboat, lost wind power, and almost went into the rocks. It's a very scary. Anytime you're near land and you're driving a big ship like that, and this is a ship that's longer than the Empire State Building, up and down. This ship, if you laid the Empire State, or if you stood it up on its end, is as tall as the Empire State Building.
I mean, it's blocking the entire path of each of commerce.
Truly fascinating.
So what do we have in those ships out there, would you say? What toilet paper? Is there a toilet paper
I can tell you there are animals on there.
Yeah.
There's live seafood.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of goods. And I've heard $400 million an hour is not passing through the Suez Canal.
Natural gas?
This is a total economic disaster for the region.
Jeez.
Because they have to go around the Cape Horn to do that.
Look at this story.
It's Breitbart. Okay.
No, but this is national. Listen to this. So what would you say if, well, we kind of ruined the fun now. Anyway, so the Oakland mayor is now awarding residents, only POC residents. If you're Caucasian, you can't, and you're poor, you can't participate in this grant program. Mm-hmm. This is making national news.
There's no way this is true.
It is true.
You really?
Search everywhere. I don't care where you search.
Now the grants are based on what you are. Your
yeah,
ethnicity?
they're gonna spin it and say, oh, we're helping only some people.
Right.
But it's absolutely true that if you're poor and you are in Oakland, that you can't participate in this grant program if you're a Caucasian person or Caucasian family.
What does BIPOC mean?
People of color. I don't know what the BI is. Oh, basic income.
Basic income.
Basic income. So if you are, how would you feel about that? Like if you were poor growing up, I was poor growing up.
I was poor as dirt.
Yeah, I was too.
Right. I grew up in Fullerton Hills, 1295 North Gale Boulevard, apartment 85.
I was
in HUD housing.
Yeah.
My mom paid $139 for rent. I know when it went to $169, then $199 over time, my mom was like, wow, our rent is $199.
This will be
But
challenged.
you know what was great is my mom I didn't really, until she started telling me that we could be evicted from our house, I didn't know we were poor. Because Fullerton Hills is in a nice neighborhood of Fullerton, you know. But do you remember when you discovered you were poor?
Yeah, I do. Because
I discovered I was poor when I went to Robert Ortmeyer's house and he had Oreo cookies, which I had not ever had. And I was like, what the heck is that? And I used to have Kool-Aid there.
without the sugar.
Who told you?
No, I had it too. The same thing.
Who told you that?
I don't know, but
That's my story.
that's standard.
Let me say something to you. Kool-Aid at my house didn't taste like Kool-Aid. And so I had Kool-Aid. It was like colored water.
Yeah.
And I go to Robert's house. He's like, you want some Kool-Aid? I'm no, I don't want Kool-Aid. I don't like it. It's
Yeah, you
gross.
associate it with. Yeah.
And he's like, Kool-Aid? You don't like Kool-Aid? And he's like, dude, try this. I'm like, what is this stuff? Oh my God. It was incredible. I discovered my mom did not put sugar in the Kool-Aid. It was the powder pack and the water. But listen, she tried, right? She just had to save some money.
Yeah.
My mom's probably watching this mortified. Mom,
No.
I love you. We're
No,
good.
no, yeah.
This is why I work so hard.
Yep.
7 days a week, Mom. You made it possible. Hey, it's the 39th episode of Risk On. We probably drolled on a little bit. The market's blah. It's tough out there. Be careful what you're buying. Pay attention to value. Know what you own. If you don't know what you own, you should reassess. For Brett and Nick and Josh and Skyla and Jason, that's me.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been Risk On. Hi to Jeanette out there, head of my wife. Love you guys. Take care, everybody. Have a solid weekend. And those of you on Sunday, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. Take care.